Ah, how's it going? I'm not bad. How are you, man? Is it accelerate? Accelerate. Nice. I'm just testing out a live stream while doing some sisters. So welcome, welcome. Nice, nice. Always good to have a chat with the boys. Whereabouts in the world are you? Oh, how's it going, man? Nice, nice. Where'd accelerate come from? Yeah. Well, I figured I was painting anyway, so I might as well jump on. How's the sound quality? Yeah. Yeah, not really expecting anyone really to jump on. It caps a bit, does it? Okay. Um, might just turn that. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, I had it a bit close. I think if that's better, let us know. Let's turn this up actually. Too bright. um, well, this that should be better. The mic positioning. Let us know if it comes through better or not. It might just be also I was uh, where I was directing my mouth, I guess. Can you hear the new music coming through? Actually. Ah, fair enough. That could be it. I'm not sure what the. I'm just running this through YouTube settings, so um, it might just be doing weird stuff. All right. Computer, turn off. Is that better without it? Is not freaking out as much? It's all newfangled technology to me. Yeah, thumb close up. Boom. If I could paint with my toes, that would be very. I have seen some a a dude that paints figures with his feet, like a dude that was born without arms. It was very impressive, and he was better than me, and it made me feel well shit. I thought you were going to stream too, Dan. Oh, of course he is. Yeah. Well, you're talking about me. That's the the under table cameras and fancy for sure. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it could be me. It could be one of the million, Eastern Europeans that I just, farm that shit out to. Gotta work smarter, not harder. And it's okay because I'm Eastern European too. So okay, I think her coat's done. Oh, I love this camera's reaction speeds to its autofocus. It's great. It's Tony Tiger. Great. There we go. Lighting's a bit harsh. No, no, it's just camera being a little sook. Howdy, howdy. Welcome in. Galen Kroger. Just doing some Sisters of Battle. And I figured while I was painting, I might as well join and have a chat with people. So I'm just going through and I've already airbrushed these sisters. And now I'm just doing the highlighting their red and going in with the brush. I'm kind of busy at the moment, my dude. But what is Space Marine chapter all black neon trim biohazard symbol? That'd be pretty cool. There's a there's a Fortnite skin that has that uh, same style. Um, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So What color would the Aquila be, you reckon? Would you go with a green Aquila or something like a silver or something? Oh, so what type of the Aquila, the eagle on his chest? What color would that be? Do you reckon? Would you go with a green as well, or would you go with like a silver or a gold maybe? A lighter black. Yeah, that could work. Like if you went maybe a like a Vallejo, um, like a German grey, and then put a black wash over it. Um, that could come out as a lighter, still really dark, but I reckon that'd be a cool one. If you painting green, the best way to paint like a really vibrant green, um, I will hang on. I'll show you with one of my salamanders. 1 second. So I'm in the middle of painting up some salamanders at the moment that I've made. So if you actually paint them with a yeah, so if you get um, yellow to start with to undercoat them, um, that really helps a green to pop. And this is just the first with the contrast over that, uh, and then I would go with an extra highlight. You actually can go back up to the yellow again. So in these parts, um, or you can buy neon paints too, uh, and that would be a really if you want it to really glow. They come out really thick though, so you still got to put them over a like best over a yellow, a white or a yellow. Um, but no, I reckon they'd look cool. Um, Black armor. Honestly, I just really like the contrast Black Legion contrast paint for black armor. Just for an easy one. Um, I'm going to these girls are going to have black armor. So yeah, actually, I'll be able to show you in a sec. I might just quickly do this girl's armor. Um, it's a really good starting point, and then you can take it up from there as well. Although with these guys, I might use the black Templar, which is a little bit thinner. Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm not a great painter. I'm definitely getting back into it. a lot of YouTube videos is what helped me um, get back up to a half decent standard. Um, and honestly, like uh, things like slap chop, um, or just take, which is using contrast paints to get a um, a really nice cover over uh, stuff you've already highlighted, either with an airbrush, like in this case. So that was black. Um, what's called a zenithal highlight. So painted black and then just sprayed white or dry brushed with white, so that come on camera, so that the shadows stay kind of dark and the recesses, the raised areas are whiter, and then so this most of this red on it was just um, a contrast paint, or in army range. I think I used the army painter one, which is what do they call their range? There it is. Army paint, speed paint. That's the speed paint range. So that's what I got in here. No, dried up, and yeah, uh, yeah, for sure. Whereabouts is the image? I'll give it a look. I can do that. The fanfic's titled "The Venom Guard." No, no, it's cool. So whereabouts is that? Whereabouts can I access that though? I need to try to work out this camera too, of how I can stop it from autofocusing away. I will. I'll finish these ones up, and then I'll let you know when I do. Okay. Okay. I brought that up. Yeah, you could do that. You could get. So there are a few. Um, there are a few really like vibrant greens like that, even in the Citadel range. If you did a really bright white, and then I think it's called Tesseract Glow, or Warp. I know the Warp Lightning is the contrast paint that I did the Salamanders in, but there's one that's just a really bright glow. Or I know Vallejo and a few others do um, uh, a fluorescent range. So it looks, the color on the bottle is nothing like it actually comes out at. Um, and of course, the light is insanely bright on camera. So it actually, I've got these, I'm working on these candles. Um, that's just too bright. Hang on. Turn down the. Come on, camera. Yeah, thank you. That's the next video for the channel is working on how to make these candles out of uh, just little bits of plastic tubing. These are from the insides of a pen, so you can see the orange glow that I've got around. Come on, camera. So the really vibrant orange glow is the like on here. That's the fluorescent paint, and that really picks up a bit. Um, the light's not great to be able to show this off at the moment, actually, but I reckon honestly it'd be a pretty easy one to paint in the end. Um, it's then a matter of how you can bring it up to a like a bigger level. Look, I tell you what, I've got some spare Space Marines here. Let's give it a crack. Why not? Um, just let me grab one of my old Marines out of a box, and I'll see how we go. Do some experimenting. So I've got these ones are just undercoated white. So we'll just use this one. You could, yeah, probably better to undercoat white or even just do like a Zenithal highlight, like I said with the other one. So where are we? I think a Black Templar. Let me just make sure I wash this brush up. Hello, cat. The cat's just walked in. I'll just give this a quick mix with my Vortex mixer. So because the arm is going to be black, I don't think I'll need to do the whole thing in yellow, but I will do the trim, and what else was a bit behind? No, I don't think there are. I think the Mantis Warriors have a bit of black and green, but I don't think it's that. Anyway, let's see how it looks. We'll do the let's get a pretty average brush. Yep. So this is what I mean with the Black Templar armor, Black Templar contrast paint. So it just goes on, and then it's quite transparent for a paint. Come on. So there we are. So you can see it's it'll just give us a everything will stand out a bit. I'm trying to do this on the camera. All the detail will kind of pop a bit more, and then we can go in and change it up a bit later. Add some highlights and shading and stuff. But this contrast paints are really good if you're not a confident painter, especially for something like black armor, which is really grey armor in the end. You're kind of painting it because the highlights will be a bit greyish, but it'll be a quick and easy way. Now, did you reckon the knee pads as well? More I found the carapace look or the matte look. I like the matte look, but you can definitely like add bits of gloss in that, in and around, which will help things to pop. So honestly, actually, these guys are probably looking with the satin varnish. Don't want to get paint on that bit. But just blocking out color with the contrast paints is it's quick, and it gives it a look that's definitely like it defines it a bit, and it just does it. So this isn't definitely not what it will look like at the end. It just gives you something to work with already. You know, the first stage of your highlights already done, sort of thing, which makes the next steps quicker. And these guys for my death wash anyway, so they were already going to be black. which is why I said I would happily do this, because he needs black armor anyway, and it won't be much to change the shoulder pads from green to silver later on if I wanted to. So the eagle and the bolter, the shoulder pauldron outline, the buyer has a symbol and an auspex. Okay. So I reckon the bolter would be silver. You reckon? I reckon. We don't have a eagle on that bolter, but I can do. I'll pick out that in green anyway. The thing. Hang on. I really got to fix this camera first, actually. Let's go to my settings. Being the first stream, it's going to have some teething issues, but where are we? Okay, I've turned off autofocus on the camera. So now we need to pull focus to there. No. Or is autofocus still? I think it still might be still on. All the fun things. Considering it's fan-made chapter, you put the accents where you think they're best. Yeah, very true, very true. It's definitely no, it's still on autofocus. I don't think I can change this while on stream, so we'll just have to keep trying to get there. Keep with the autofocus and keep trying to. So the inside of the pauldrons were black, weren't they? Yeah. Black inside, biohazard. Okay, so the biohazard symbol would be one that will paint on in white first. So I'll black this out and so in that those bits in the back there, they were green as well, weren't they? So we'll leave them white. when contrast paints first came out, I was really blown away with just how quick they made this step of painting a mini and just getting it to a like just a decent enough standard. Um, it's they're a real game changer, and I think they're really good for people's confidence as well. And there's definitely like I've seen people who do absolutely amazing stuff. Um, they still use them for for bits and pieces here and there, or out of an airbrush, um, where just the coverage of them. Um, Green skull or green laurel? Hmm. We'll go the laurel. We'll go the laurel first, and then see how it looks. Um, maybe both. What color would the laurel be? The skull be otherwise? Maybe a silver or a brass. I reckon maybe these. I suppose you call them bracelets. Part of the armor. I reckon they'd be a good one for a pop of green as well. The trick with when painting in black is to get it's easy to have the miniature look just like a block of nothing after a while. Um, but there are so many chapters that have black armor, and they've all got something unique that'll make them pop. Uh, so yeah, braces. Yeah, braces is like the whole thing, but like it's just like it's yeah, just like it almost is like a bracelet or it was a connecting part of the armor, really, isn't it? Uh, but yeah, as I was saying, as long as you have something that'll make the that'll pop out from the black, then oh, a little black on him. Then the miniature will still stand out, and so I think a really vibrant green would do that. Um, and I've got a couple here that are very bright. So what I might do is go in with the scorpion green, the van braces. That's yeah. There we go. We got there. What color are we going to go with the bolter? Probably a silver, I reckon. Uh, just turning off this phone. Yeah, I reckon a silver. I reckon you need some more bits that stand out, and a metallic will do that. So um, maybe a dark gunmetal, though. I reckon something with a bit of shine to it, but still. I mean, we really want that green to be the standout, don't we? Uh, This really isn't the brush to be doing it for this. This is one of my worst brushes um, to be doing this fine, fine lines. But here we are. We're here now. We're doing it. The other things I really like about the contrast paint is in comparison to what it used to do, which is like a wash. Yeah, definitely using the neon green sparingly to make it go more and make it be the real focusing thing. But you also want to make sure that it's there's enough of it for it to really stand out, which is why I've kept the Aquila as an option too. Um, because not all of them have the eagle, which is what I mean by the Aquila. Um, and not all Marines have them on the front. So, um, yeah, 100%. All right, so just basically blocked out some colors there, um, which we can go in and highlight very quickly in a bit, but we'll move on to a yellow. Um, and I think so. I've got the Uriel yellow here. Let's just use that. I'm going to use my vortex mixer. I'll use one of my good brushes. So yellow is one of those colors that is the paints, like the actual pigment itself, is really thin. A pain in the bum, basically. They're getting better. Which look cooler: black and neon yellow, black on neon green. Well, we'll start off with yellow. I think black and yellow is. I know it's already a chapter. I want to. It's a chaos chapter. Um, or could be the Mantis Warriors. No, the Sides of the Emperor, black and yellow. Um, and I think black with yellow trim. Um, to me, as an Aussie, this screams Richmond Football Club, or like a Wasp or something. So I think green's the way to go. I can't remember any that are green. I'm using a very thick bit of paint here. Google says Yellow Jackets, as in a chapter called the Yellow Jackets. What do the size of the Emperor look like? Am I thinking something different? But yeah, Yellow Jackets, Wasps, that sort of thing. Yeah, size of the Emperor. That's what I was thinking of. Um, that said, I mean, this hobby has been around for oof, what, nearly 50 years now. just over 40 years. Um, Mid 80s, I think it started. So yeah, there have been a lot of different chapters and ideas for chapters. Um, as a game private Tony, we're just doing up a chapter color that Galen Kroger was asking about. He did up an image of whether a black with a green trim, a neon green trim, would look all right. And I had some spare models kicking around, so I thought, why not? Let's have a look. Let's see how it looks. Um, so we're just using contrasts for the black at the moment, and uh, sticking with that theme, I might as well just show what the contrast paint. Yeah, so this one's the what do you call it? The Black Templar. So there's two different black contrasts. The Black Templar is like this. It's kind of it's thinner. So this is over that pure white. So it does come over more charcoal, um, more defined lines. Whereas the the Black Legion is the other one. That one's like just a real pure black, and that's really cool for getting in the shadows if you're just want to do a black undercoat. Whereas this is more if you want black armor. And so that was just with the contrast paint like that. So it's just a really quick and easy way to get a lot of those shades and highlights in. Yeah, I wouldn't say know what I'm doing. Just that I've been not knowing what I've been doing for long enough. That is, um, you can just kind of make it up as you go along. Trial and error. That's all this hobby is, uh, and that's actually one of the things I really enjoy about this hobby is, and why I like hobbies rather than pastimes. If you'll indulge me for a second, in that a pastime like watching TV or something like that, uh, you can't fail at. Um, Whereas a hobby, I mean, sometimes when you need to fail at something just to to learn to grow. And I used to be really shit. Speaking of really shit, perfect example. This grey is too dark for a highlight, so I will swap to a different grey. In fact, I will mix a lighter grey in there. So yeah, you just if something doesn't work, you just try something else. Just keep on trying. See if it goes back. If it's crap, it's crap. There's a fail watching TV diabetes. Yeah, well, that's that's you can't really take much of a learning from that apart from not watching TV. And don't get me wrong, I love TV. And there's plenty of diabetes in Warhammer too. There we are. That's a nice one. So it'll dry a bit darker than that, but you can just see just a little highlight. If I go through with a clean brush, it's got a bit of red on the end, but it's dried now. you can just lightly, what's called feathering, just pull it down so you don't have that sharp edge as much, and just really easily, quickly like that, you've got something that's a highlight that not necessarily the the most delicate touch. It still works and it's quick. I'll show you what I mean on if we do a blob here. So, and then just in circular motions from the center. Oh, I think there's a little bit too much red left on this brush. But you see, it just smooths it out a bit. So, in a really quick, I mean, it's not going to win you a golden demon, but you, as a color palette, you don't like the fingernails as color palette. Uh, I tend to use everything. It's not more as a color palette. It's more of a um, to wipe my brush off. It's a habit that I've had since I was a kid. Definitely licking the paintbrush as well. Yeah. There we go. Just a quick on that side as well. Um, if we just follow the lines, we're just doing this while we're waiting for the yellow to dry fully as well. Yeah, full on pad on black. Back on, I used to be on the Warpath, which is back in the day when um, the internet forums, uh, basically old Discords before Discord was a thing. Um, the every faction kind of had its own forum, and the Warpath was the Orc and Goblin forum, um, and we ran a hobby tip page and everything, and our most agreed on hobby tip was that the light green ink tasted better than the dark green ink because it did, and that's important things to know. One as an orc, and then two as a hobbyist. Yeah. So I was I absentmindedly licked my brush earlier on. I had one of the army painters range on, and I was saying to my flatmate, like, that's not a good flaving paint. It's like, why are you eating paint? I mean, I'm not eating paint. It's just, not like full boom eating paint chips, but it happens. Okay, it happens. That's probably how orcs came to be. Just too many people eating paint. Try to get this back up. My light source is slightly to the right of camera, so I keep drifting that way, just absent-mindedly. And when I drift that way, it goes off uh, out of focus. again, just a bit of a dot there, and just move it around a little bit. Just quick and easy. It's not going to win your golden demon, but it's if you're wanting a squadron up in a bit, and it doesn't. Also, if you go too hard on a highlight, for example, like that, you can just play around with it and just soften it a bit with your hand and your brush. And then you're meant to do it all along. Come on. So then when you come back in and do just a crisper one, just make it stand out a little bit more. Yeah. So I don't. I started this channel a little. This is the first live we've done, because I was really I was deep into a lot of the terrain and that sort of stuff with a lot of my videos, and producing content. And then I had a whole bunch of issues with my audio and moved house and just this crap and the other. And recently I've just been, I've got my Agents of the Imperium army I'm painting up. So it didn't really fall under the banner of World of Warcraft as much. And so I wasn't uploading anything. I hadn't uploaded anything in about a month. And I thought, well, I asked on the Facebook page whether people would be interested in joining in and just having a chat, and thought, why not? If I'm already doing it, and the camera's already, I just need to move it over a little bit. So, usually I'd just be chatting away on Discord or something anyway, or I'd ring up a mate or something. So I thought, might as well jump on and talk to y'all. Scouse? No, Aussie. Although my accent's changed a bit over the years. I used to live in the UK. Now I'm Melbourne. I used to live in Scotland, and that was an accent and a half. No, I am Australian and Polish. For me, yeah. It's not the real thick Aussie accent. Like, it's not a Queensland accent. But as I said, it's not the thickest because it's changed over the years. I'm definitely one of those people that has a, what do they call it? An evolving accent. Crumpet tea time, mate. Yeah. I do love my crumpets though. And I don't mind a cup of green tea for me, but no, at the moment I've got an energy drink next to me because I don't know why I'm drinking that at this time of night, but hey, there we are. I think I've been sipping on it for a while now. Not being too careful with these highlights here. Just it's just, we are just testing this out, so they're not as delicate as they could be on others. Mash them out a bit, Dunsky. All right, I think it's time to go back to this green. Hey. This yellow should have dried by now. Where are you from, Galen? Indiana. Nicely done. Right, for the green, I've got the Citadel Warp Lightning. Oh, he's got a helmet down there, but definitely plot armor. He's not wearing it, so that's how Games Workshop, or it's not just Games Workshop, is it? There's, that was the biggest thing with Stevens, with Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd movie, was the iconic helmet, and he wore it for about 5 seconds in the film because he didn't want anyone to. He's like, I want people to realize it's me. And it's like, you probably got one of the most unique voices. I am the law. And I think everyone would have known it was him. Anyway, I've just thinned down this contrast paint a bit, just with some water, because we really want the bright green. So this is going to be the first layer, and then I'll do some highlights with another color. Might be slightly too thin, so it's very messy at the moment, but that's all right. Let's come on, camera. Because it's just blocking in these colors, basically. Oh, this camera's going to drive me enough. Yeah, bloody Seppo, mate. Yeah. I only found out the origin of that word the other day, Seppo. It's just been what we called Americans for forever. But yeah, Seppo, septic tank, yank. So there you go. Bit of a harsh one. And yank, obviously, for Yankee. So how to make it look more neon? I've got some brighter greens in here, which I'll go over with. Basically, this is getting the base color in, and so the shadows will almost glow a bit. But with it thin enough, you get a bit of the yellow shining through. and this is more kind of what's uh, only what I've got with this. But you, like I said, there are some fluoro paints out there as well you can use. So it's more. I don't have any fluoro green, unfortunately, um, but otherwise I'd bust it out. Um, but definitely you can get uh, yeah, some really vibrant ones, and those ones go over the top of either a white or another green because uh, they're really thin paints. Um, yeah, the green definitely looks more menacing. Um, I think yellow is more of a. Well, I'll show you just on here. So the difference between so we got that was with the yellow undercoat, and this one will just be. So you can see it's a lot warmer up the top. It's a cooler green down the bottom, and I think for that neon look, you need that brighter. That's a bit better. I don't. Yeah, I think without the yellow, you just get that kind of cool, almost drab green. Um, and we'll leave that to dry for a sec. What should we black? Let's put some. We'll stick with the theme of the contrast paints because we're keeping it nice and easy. So we'll do the dark oath flesh. Where are you from, Tony? It's kind of hard to see on the cameras being so bright um, up this close. Uh, from Colorado. You can kind of see that it's the white balance is screwing up. There we go. A bit better. Um, just a good, solid base tone for skin. What we're gonna do? Actually, we said grey for the. No, we were still going to leave that, weren't we? We'll leave that for now. Right, I'm going to go with a really bright green now. Yeah, where's your favorite band? Who's your favorite band? The Berserker. Oh yeah, they're about to tour actually. I'm pretty sure. Now, this is actually a really old green paint, but the moot green is pretty close to it. Um, but this is back in the days of like the neon color schemes. So this one's called Scorpion Green. This is what the Striking Scorpions used to be painted in back in second edition. The old Striking Scorpions. So because this is quite thin, it might need a couple of coats. And we will go another highlight on top of it as well. We'll actually highlight it with yellow, which seems weird, but a yellow over a green will really help it to one, be warmer. If you've heard of that, the expression between warm and cold colors, meaning any color like that's a mix of the two primary colors. So green being a mix of red, of blue and white, blue and yellow. Jesus Christ, blue and yellow. So the warmer tone, the more you go towards a yellow, the more that the yellow is kind of on the orangey side, the warmer, or the more it's kind of a bluey side. On the other way around is a cooler. And if you highlight with a green with a yellow, you'll just bring it back to that warmer. Come on. I think we paint this skull green. The difference between a regal and a matrix green. Yeah, there you go. Or the difference between like a fake grass and real grass. Look. That fake grass has always got that real, that real too green look, if that makes sense. Which is one of the first things I learnt when I did art in school. Was my teacher said when you're painting, this is really good for miniature painting later on as well. When you're painting grass is not one color. We kind of blur it into one color that's green, but it's the color of the individual grass blades, which are sometimes green, sometimes they're a bit drier, so they're more yellow. The dirt in between, so it's more brown, dead. Might be a reddy brown, or it might be a darker, almost black. um, and it all really starts to stand like blur into one. So when you're painting, if you just do a one green all over it, it'll look wrong because you're not actually painting all what's there. You're just painting what the grass is. So you have to put in some some just dots of brown or different yellows and everything like that, and uh, stipple it using a paintbrush, and you get the effect of grass, which is similar to basing. If you're ever painting the bases, if if you use an really old crappy brush like that, one that's past its time, if you stipple on in bits some greens here and there, different shades of green too, and then you come in with another one, it'll actually come up as more of a realistic grass. A bit like that, yeah. Now I just want to watch Forge and Fire. It's a good show. All right. So we're just doing the faintest highlight. Come on. So it's almost kind of hard to pick up actually on the camera. Let's try over here. So because the yellow paint is quite thin, as I was saying before, it'll the green on the back will shine through and kind of absorb the color in our eyes. Our eyes absorb the. I really need to play around with the settings a bit more. The white balance is a bit off. That's too strong. That's the other thing. If it's too strong, same with the bit before, you just wipe a bit off. Yeah, I think some of the authenticities, I think it's pretty good. Like, I think they definitely give them a bit more time, I think, than they otherwise say they do. I don't think, I think a lot of them are done well before the clocks tick down, but um, they definitely do it in a day. Like it's no worries, my dude. When did I put that down there? Lol. All right. How do we do a biohazard symbol? Biohazard symbol. It's kind of a C, and then kind of another C, and then kind of another C, I guess. Let's have a look. And they don't overlap. That's kind of it. And a O in the center. Get the basic lines right. I mean, it's not the greatest, but welcome back, my dude. Yeah, right. So that's just a quick frame. My frame is not the best, but that's in yellow. So my theory was if we did that in yellow and then we could go over it in green. So I'll even do it while the paint's still dry. The paint should be dry, to be honest. I think another thing. Oh, thank you, my dude. I think another thing that might help is potentially a gloss varnish. Laurel green skull black. I think the black might uh, fade in too much. I think maybe something. If you want to keep it menacing, maybe something metallic. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think maybe something metallic will help. Silver? Yeah. Yeah, I think a silver. Let's go with that. All right, what silvers have I got? A dark aluminium. See? It has an I in it. Aluminium. Not aluminum. I think they repackage it for here because I'm pretty sure this is an American company. That is one thing I do love about the American English is you guys just went, nah, screw that. That doesn't sound right. Aluminium. There we go. Yeah. Aluminum, oregano. What's this? Cilantro. So this is dark aluminum. So it's kind of a gunmetal. It really doesn't like to autofocus. There we go. Look, it's if you're in this hobby, we are generally smart and also very dumb because we're in this hobby. Because holy hell, is it expensive? Which is why I set up the channel. To be honest, was because it's I don't think that hobby should be blocked out to people just because they can't afford all of it. And there's some great stuff you can do. Like this has given me so much joy over the years. I really love this hobby, and uh, it's just getting more and more expensive. So any little thing we can do to kind of make it a little bit cheaper, I think, is well worth doing. Um, and I grew up poor, so when I started this as a kid, um, being able to make do with making stuff from scratch or making one kit out into uh, lots of different other kits. Um, it became a fun challenge. That's definitely continued as I got older. Um, and even when I haven't played the game, I've still kept up collecting and building and doing those little challenges to myself because they're fun. They give me a sense of accomplishment um, and yeah, I wanted to make this channel to pass it on. Get rid of the cat hair. That's not a. I mean, that's a freebie from the cat, I suppose. But uh, where's that paint? Just gone. There it is. It's shaking again. Apologies for that sound. It's quite loud, I guess. Yeah, uh, that's definitely. I mean, especially if you're in the position to. Um, I think. Uh, I think that everyone has a different part of this hobby that they like, um, and parts that they just don't like. For ages, I hated painting. I was always the shit painter in our group, um, and realized a lot later on it's because I needed glasses. uh, but as I got old, I mean, so yeah, I did, yeah, I painted because some other people to paint some of my stuff sometimes, um, or I painted it badly, yeah. Um, and even when I mean, even when I got glasses, it didn't go up dramatically. Um, just like I think this will be an example. This is a very quick, very basic, blocking out colors one. Um, and when we get to the step where we start to make it pop, um, that's you can that's the one that I wasn't getting to before, and I was getting to well, a lot worse than this, messier than this, but just blocking out colors, um, badly painting some eyes, and that was it. That's it. Uh, and so making it a taking that to the next level is the um, learning how you can do that easily. I guess is the what I'm trying to say is that it often feels like it's just too far beyond, especially when I'm looking at you look at painters these days and they're so damn good. You can put you off. And I'm not at the level where I'd be painting for anyone. I do commission um, builds. That's my thing that I think I'm the best a bit or better at out of all the things for me in my hobby. Obviously, camera work's not the greatest. Um, come on, you bubble. There we go. But being able to take a model that's almost done and finish it off, I think, is the that's where you start to get some confidence in your painting. Um, I like that silver. I think the silver's good there. I think we might go silver on the whole Aquila, to be honest. What do you reckon? Yep, or darker, the same shade. Uh, Well, if we go with silver, we can keep adding like dark layers over that anyway. Um, if we want it to be really dark, so I think just having a gunmetal can look quite menacing, um, and it'll just pop a little bit. Just well, we can always go back over it. That's what I'm saying. All right, so that's with the silver, and I think if we do a black wash over that, um, once it's dry a bit, it'll pop that a bit. Um, what I might do is another little wash with the green, I think. Um, just more of a, I hate to use wanky terms, more of a glaze. So really, really thin, watered down. Making his tiny little skull buddy green uh, in the middle there. Um, we can do that. Another belt thing. Oh, um, so the skull itself, or the shrine that he's in. Can you paint a Sons of Malice marine? Which one's the Sons of Malice? What do they look like? Galen, do you mean the case that surrounds it, or the actual skull itself? The little cylinder inside the case, so like a glow in the dark skeleton. Okay, let's have a look with just the glaze how it goes. That's creepy. Like a radioactive. I think while that's still wet, we just go into the. He's starting to glow a bit. Maybe a touch of yellow again, just while it's still wet, just so it kind of mixes in a bit. Yeah, just I think we might paint his little box in a brass. You reckon? Sons of Malice is black and white chaos faction. What I need to do? I need to do some pouches. I need to get some more black in actually, because I missed a few bits of the black. So let's go with that real quick and paint over this bit where I greened it up a little bit. Oh, I keep knocking the camera. That's on me. My bad. Come on, camera. Yeah. Well, he very much could have a little alien in a pouch. Trophy. Or knowing the Marines, they could just be one of his mates because they're weird like that. It's like, I'll carry him a dead mate. He was a hero, brother. Yes, bro. Oh, nearly knocked the paint over. So this is one of the steps I was talking about before about just being able to take it from what I would usually have left it at when I first started out. Um, is just redefining the edges of the bits so the colors will pop a bit more. Um, so the black is just a background to the color rather than having distracting bits pop through. And you can just help to make your lines crisper. Old boy's hair color, I hadn't even thought, to be honest. Um, I paint so few Marines that have hair. So first thought is black. See, if we went black, it's just more black on the model, which it all kind of blends into one. Um, if we did go bright black, we could go the like the highlight color we've mixed up and then put a black wash over it. So it's like a gunmetal. Well, that was my go-to last time, wasn't it? Uh, but yeah, like a grey, I think. Make him a vet, or I don't think he's a blonde, is he? I think a blonde's going to be weird. I don't think I've ever seen a redhead Space Marine. From actually, sorry, Space Wolves have got the redheads, don't they? They're all bold. Gunmetal hair sounds unique. No, it does. Um, except maybe the Iron Hands. I reckon if they had hair, they'd probably have it as gunmetal, or just metal in general. So this is the same black we were using before, and it's just going into the edges. And so we added a highlight, and now we're just adding some shading. Oh yeah, that would too. Yeah. I think let's try with the grey. So keeping in the same sort of color scheme, I think, color range. Very thick paint, but oh well. Yeah, I think once this has a wash over it and some bring it back up, I reckon that'll look good. I think we need a couple more warm colors, so I might do that in a brown. And I still need to do that black. Still missed that bit. And that's still part of his panel too. You need like a pouch brown, yeah. Yeah, need like a darker leather sort of thing, really, don't we? What I might do is I might go a darker brown and then just bring it back up with some highlights in the next step. How about making the early house darker leather? We could do. Yeah, we'll try that. Should we do the belt the same color? Needs my earthy tone. Yeah. Yeah, just to contrast the green. Well, let's go a really dark brown and then bring it up. Um, Still room on that palette there. Yeah, yeah. We don't want to look too clinical. We also don't want it to look too bright as well, I guess, at this stage because we don't want it to clash with the, or not to clash with, to overpower the green really. So if we do a darker one, and then we can just bring it up a couple of shades with some highlights. I think that'll work for us. Okay. On the Chaos Junior plan. Uh, yeah, a little bit. There's definitely a few of them that are definitely borderline out there. Um, the Sons of Malice actually that old mate was talking about. Um, is it them or there's one that's they're basically they're basically chaos, but they haven't been. They're evil. They enjoy killing civilians, um, and they kind of run their own little sector of the galaxy as warlords. But they're still technically not renegade yet because they do it in the name of the emperor, and they've were called in to do a crusade, um, and they answered. So the Inquisition kind of turned a blind eye to them a little bit, uh, which is great. You know, it's good that they're on our side. Uh, yeah, the Harpies. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Uh, there's one really famous one. I can't remember which books it was in. The I remember it late at night when I'm going to bed. I reckon it's always the way. All right, now we blocked out the colors. I think it's almost ready for washes. Alpha Legion. They pretend to be goodies sometimes, but they're definitely all the way chaos. No, these ones that are still Imperium, but I'll remember later. So it's still a little bit messy, but more just blocked out. Soul Drinkers could be. Um, could be. Don't Not the one I had in my mind, but uh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I remember it later. uh, cool bananas. I might just do a couple of tiny little highlights to his face. So, what color should I use? I really like just how simple the tones are with just straight out of the contrast. They really help to just define this, whatever this next step is. I might even just go I might make him a tan, just like a really lights with a tan color. Um, Now I'm going to make this quite watery. Maybe not that watery. And I've gone too far there. Just wipe away with a clean brush. Yeah, I think that's how most guardsmen feel in general. um, I mean, it's when you think about it, that they are their angels. So, but then to also know that like half the angels are on the bad side as well, like you'd be like, okay, cool, something, especially the normal grunt on the front line, they wouldn't know. They probably wouldn't have got the word up if they were getting reinforcements. They just find out when it happens. Um, they'd probably be shooting a brick, to be honest. All right. My favorite bit, and my favorite, I mean, absolutely not favorite, is dotting the I's. Oh, I don't think I stuffed that one up. Hey. Yeah, so wait, which chapter? What? Yeah, cool. Yeah, Grandma. Okay, Venom Guard. And then imagine the sergeant's just sitting there, just rapidly flipping through a copy of Who's Who in the Space Marines to work out whether they need to run or cheer. Some probably grizzled old veteran going, I don't remember these ones. Back in my day, there were only 5 chapters. Mind you, there is no real grizzled old veteran in the guard, are they? They're all deed. All right. Let's go an ochre color for the highlights on this case. That's it. Yeah, ultramarine or nothing. And we liked it too. This complaining these days. Oh, my chapter doesn't have rules. It's the Codex of Starters or nothing. I think if one thing if humanity is going to go on into the future, it's definitely grumpy old dudes being exactly the same. That's been been a trait of us since we were since we were cavemen, I think. Well, as far as old as you actually got back then, I suppose. That's a question. Do you reckon they were grumpy old dudes to, like, even when the average age of old was 25? Or did that increase the incompetent, impotent military up? Yep, 100%. Come on. So just adding some lines and some highlights. Just giving it some definition. Again, nothing too fancy, just making it look fancy from like back here. But when you're looking up here, it's just like, yeah, it's some lines on there. It's a bit rough. That's half the trick with Warhammer, isn't it? Getting that tabletop looking good, and you're not really having to focus on the golden demon stuff can be good up front, like up close. This has got to look good from a few meters away. Come on. Yeah, that's it. Nothing too fancy. All right, I think we can go with some washes. Let's go some known oil. That's a lot of known oil. Let's go slightly less known oil. The secret sauce to any speed painting. Washes. Come on. the white balance is still a bit off on this, and that means that like the colors aren't showing through on camera as much as they are in person, unfortunately. But you kind of get the idea. And more importantly, I think we can say that the chapter scheme works as a color. Which is what we set out to achieve, didn't we? Yeah, I think silver works on the chess piece. Add a bit more shading down here. Something about this little skeleton being green is nagging in the back of your mind. I mean, now we know that what it looks like green. I can go in and paint it white now. We've done the experiment. Yeah. Well, we know what it looks like green now, so now we can just also see what it looks like white, and then decide which one was better or not. Yeah. No, I agree. Well, what I might do is just run the hairdryer over this real quick. If you'll excuse the noise, and I think that should be a finished model, pretty much. Quickly go into that part that I missed in there. Yeah, if I run the hairdryer over this and just get the dried, helmet eyes keep green or keep black? Um, it's a question. Honestly, with I'd probably still go red. Just something that makes it pop. Like contrasting color, just the tiniest amount. I dip back into my the red I was working on my sisters with. The green helmet eyes looked almost on the image. Okay, well, let's have a look. In that case, I will go in with a white. Yeah, I did check out the image. Cool image. I don't mind AI for that sort of stuff. For for testing um, colors as well. Um, I popped in the other day um, just a picture of the box art for the Krieg Marines, um, and just said, "Oh, what what would these guys look like in camo?" Um, and yeah, for that sort of thing, I think AI is great. Something that you could, your what ifs before you commission something. Like, I think using AI for like for art that you would have normally used like paid an artist for back in the day. Um, I think that's a bit off for me, but for something that you wouldn't have ever commissioned back in the day, and it's just a curiosity that you'd otherwise just think of, I think it's perfectly fine. Um, I really hate how much power it's using, uh, and starting to drain all the water and everything of, especially over where you guys are. Uh, I think that's kind of sad, but definitely has its uses. I hope so, but at the same time, it's just being used in everything. I think definitely in like we've already seen some AI art trends that have come and gone. Um, like we had that one where people were posting up their miniatures walking across the table, sort of thing, for a bit. Um, that was kind of cool, but like also the novelty grew off very quickly. Like once you saw the first couple of people do it, um, you maybe tried it yourself, maybe didn't bother. You're like, oh yeah, cool, nice, fun that we can do that now. But now what? Uh, I think there's some great, like the doctors and that using it to help um, scan through thousands of uh, like imaging files to kind of pick out um, similarities in, and then put it in front of human eyes. I think that's where it'll shine as a tech, where it can really help us out. Um, I read the other day that it's something like all the AI data centers now is one is the seventh largest country in terms of power it's using, um, which is just insane. And yeah, I really hope you guys don't get massive blackouts and stuff like that, because I can see it happening. I'm going to do a slight little glow effect because this paint's so thin. I can just go because the whatchamacallit, the eyes were painted white first, and helmet is black. There'll be enough of a contrast. It won't just look like a mist. Yeah, prepper as well. Yeah. Where are we? I think that's come up pretty cool actually with green. Green glowy eyes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just the because I put the dab of white in the eye socket itself, and then just going just around the outsides a bit as well, because that's darker. Uh, it just it's not as bright as the eye because it's green over thin paint over black rather than thin paint over white. So you can just you can make it look like it's got a bit of a glow to it. Uh, Not as bright as the light source sort of thing. Um, and we can actually might go one step further and just do a tiny little dot of yellow right in the I suppose the cornea of the eye. There we are. Investigate, contain, investigate, disinfect. Nice. Are they the? I suppose that they have to be rivals of the Death Guard, surely. If they're disinfecting. Oh, cool! I like that. So if Emps is alive, then Horus was defeated and Chaos was defeated. Um, or did Horus retreat and is it still like kind of ongoing? And their universe just never happened. So no one turned Chaos. So it's just the Marines versus like the Xeno and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Um, be able to focus on, yeah, rational thought. Woofed, can't have that. Um, so, was there still the dark age of technology before then? Because that's when humanity lost most of its rational thought. Um, obviously, losing amps didn't help. Ah, nice. Some multiverse stuff, I'm guessing. I think we've still got some workability in this highlight color we used before. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh yeah. Ah, I like that. I think this guy is pretty much done. Let's do a little bit more black in those bits. But I think the Venom Guard might exist now. Once I do the dots of his eyes. What color eye should he have? I think green would be too much. We could go with dark green, actually, like a. Yeah, like a dark natural green. Yeah, Dogma by Science. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's 40K. You know, um, the whole humanity's basically devolved. Um, yeah, I love those dystopian takes. You know. God, I hate painting eyes. Oh, I think I got it. That light really doesn't help. But yes. So you can see the colors a bit better down here, actually. Um, when it's zoomed in, I'm too close to that. Maybe if I just move that away a bit. How if I turn the light off when I brought it up to that close and just let the camera do the work? Nope. Lower setting. Nope. I think Let's put it back on it was. Yeah, I think this color scheme works, my dude. I think with some power swords as well. Like if you went some, like you could get some more green in there with some glowing green on the power swords. Maybe little bits of cable and stuff like that could also be another chance to get some green in. I think he's come up pretty good. Oh, there we go. One thing we could change is that's could be a different color. Sophisticated Black Templar. Yep. Well, if in your alternative universe, maybe they are. The counter to the religious dogma, the the scientist ones. That could be if you're going with the whole alternate universe thing. Yeah, cool. Alrighty. Well, here we are. Tell you what, just because we were musing on it before, I'll see what it looks like with the green in like a gloss varnish. And I find out where my gloss varnish is. I think he's pretty damn close, isn't he? But let's just have a look to see what this looks like. I reckon maybe a satin varnish would be better, but I don't have a satin varnish. I think this would really make it look, I guess, venomy, oozy. Let's do the whole pauldron, actually. Stuff it. We'll do one pauldron this side and we'll do the other one not, just so we can see the difference. Delicious Andy's mint. I don't know the brand, but I'm sure. Yes, it definitely has that mint green vibe, doesn't it? So that's with the gloss varnish on that shoulder and just the gloss trim on the others. I don't mind the gloss trim. I think I'm not sure if I'm sold on the whole gloss varnish on the whole pad, although I'm not. Yeah, that's it. Either way, yeah. Yeah, I want to try again. Definitely got to fix this. I think I'll need to have it set to a point like here. I reckon. There we go. That's good. Yeah, I think for what's that? That was about an hour. That's not too bad. It's not too shabby at all. Well, there we go. Wasn't what I was planning on painting tonight, but glad I did because it looks good and it's good to know. And always happy to help people out as well. I think maybe a darker green on the casing of the chainsaw could work all right. No, it's all right, my dude. I said happy to help out. I had this guy just kicking about anyway, so he wasn't really doing anything. So it'll eventually be a death watch, I think. Even then, I don't even think that army is going to be around much longer, so I don't know if I bother. He'll probably just say as it is. Yeah, my dude, I think I might call it there, considering it's just about to hit 1 a.m. here. But it was yeah, good to chat and get a test in. How's the audio coming through? Just as a question, is it sound clear enough? I know there's a bit of a delay on the me talking and the typing coming back through. I think that's one of the settings, but I'll definitely be having a play around with some of the settings. Cuts in and cuts out. Yeah, I'll have to have a play around and have a. It might be. It might not. Yeah, might not be ideal. Um, I don't know which one's the YouTube settings and which ones are the my microphone. So it was a bit of a test. So thanks for sticking around. Um, yeah, I've got a couple, mate. This is more just of a little test, but my flatmate streams, so I'll get him to jump on, and we'll do a bit of a test. I'll do that tomorrow, though. This is more of a last minute. Well, if I'm going to be doing some stuff, I might as well jump on as well and give it a crack. So I'll definitely be doing some more like when I finish. Yeah, for sure, definitely test stream. When I finish painting up this bad boy, see even the colors. I want the white balance and everything right as well because the colors are a little bit off. But I've been working on this one. And the next video for the channel is how I made the candles. So that'll be coming up relatively soon. Unfortunately, that the first audio I recorded for that I had my headphones on, but listening to some music. But Streamlabs decided to put the music in the recording as well. Of the colors, as in on this, just coming through, I think that the brown looks a bit as in not the actual model, just on the camera. The browns coming through. I think it's just the power of the light. It's being washed out a bit, so it's looking a lot lighter, if that makes sense. The reds and the yellows and oranges are coming through really well, but like the skin tone on that guy is not. Yeah, it's too blown out at the moment to get on the camera. I will definitely. Yeah, this one's a bit more grimdarky. I definitely need to work out. I mean, it's the moment. It's just a 2 shade as well. So I need to add some more, whether it's some greens or some lighter browns in there. This is kind of the test mini for the army. But that was a problem for another day because my brain wasn't working. So I was just going through doing some red on some sisters because red's easy. I know red. Yeah, so there actually is a fair bit of battle damage on the wheels, which just wasn't showing up on the camera there. Adding some more. I need to go with back in with. I just added the rust was the last bit. I need to add some more higher, like oxidized content rust sort of thing. There's some more oranges and that in there, which will help balance it out with the other oranges. And then some just some more silvers that are popping. It's had a bit of a unifying wash at the moment, and it needs to bring it back up. I'm going to put another flaming brazier on there as well to kind of bring the focus to the middle, to the hanged man. But yes. Anyway, dude, thank you very much for tuning in to the little stream. So, and to everyone else that was lurking or anything, I appreciate it. I will. I'll be on again once I, get everything sorted out. But this is just a test and to see how it goes. And thank you all very much. And I'll catch you next time.